started, shall we? All right. How have you all been? I have missed you all. My trolls I missed especially. Oh, I haven't been on for a little while, I'm telling you. It's been a bit. Evan, if you're out there, just want to let you know that Canada sucks at hockey. Sorry, just the way it panned out. So, today is basically chat, hangout, discussion about drones, discussion about whatever projects that I might be doing to a certain extent, and what's going on around the world, and just to get to meet a whole bunch of new people. If, of course, any of you are interested in subscribing, one second. Okay. Check that nano out and see what it's doing. All right, so today we're just here to meet new people, new subscribers possibly, and talk about drone content, things that we're doing in the shop, and just kind of chat and hang out and talk about the world events, what's going on, and how you all feel about it, really, because in my line of work, what I'm doing, it's kind of the type of service that gets involved in conflicts, at least some of the products. So realistically, it's about what's really going on in the world, and how people feel about it, and how the newer technologies are going to kind of bolster or hinder engagements like we're having right now in the Middle East. So we want to talk about stuff like that, but we also want to talk about just about anything you want to. If you want to talk about something a little bit more lighthearted, if it's something that's, you haven't, you just don't want to hear any more about it because there's so much coming in on it from the news, then we can talk about whatever you want to. I'm totally for pretty much any of that. So anybody interested in just having a discussion about whatever is fine. It doesn't have to be about the drones that I do. It doesn't have to be about the projects. It doesn't have to be about the war at all. It's just a matter of chat, hang out, get to know subscribers, and hopefully when you do check out the rest of the channel, if this is the kind of content that interests you, then you become a subscriber and stay informed, because I almost forgot. I have to do the other 2 Hellfire missiles. Hold on. Yeah, these guys. We can't forget these, because we're going to end up. Because what we're going to end up doing eventually is firing off these other 2 that I did. I have a video out where I did an A83, and now we got the B44 and the C67. We're going to do. These are just some of the fun kind of side projects that I do, in lieu of building the larger drones or the EDF drones. Just chatting with you people and getting to know you, and hopefully you like the channel, hopefully you like some of the content, and I will get to putting out more long videos, but I've been really busy, and it's because of the well, you've seen it. It's out there. It's the DARPA Lift Challenge, and it's realistically, it's open to everybody. Anybody in their garage can do it. And I keep thinking to myself, everyone's like, well, if you get involved in stuff like this, how do you expect to win anything from it? I mean, do you expect to honestly place? And I do. I have to be optimistic. Otherwise, what's the point of the effort, right? So there's so much out there, so much competition. I'm probably going to be going up against, people who do this for a living. But how many new things? Not to act like I'm that guy, but I could be. You never know. How many things that we use today were invented in a garage? I mean, we're talking computers, we're talking operating systems, Windows as you know it started in a garage. I mean, you have to think about stuff like that. And everybody started off somewhere. And while I'm not hoping to become a millionaire, well, okay, I take that back. I would love to be, have the money to do whatever I want to do. But let's be honest, right? Welcome, One Game Day CR. Welcome to chat. It's not something that I think I'm going to get insanely rich off of. It's if I'm comfortable, I'm comfortable. Right now I'm retired out of the Army, so I have a little bit. But I'd like to pick up some land. Not in California. But you do what you have to when family's involved. So you go where they want to go, and that's the whole point. So am I hoping to get completely rich out of it? No, of course not. But comfortable, maybe. But let's talk about the projects, because these little experimental Hellfires that I put together, and that I'm using the Estes rockets in. I did one already, which is the A83, and that was actually surprisingly accurate, which kind of threw me off a little bit, because I expected it to be utterly wild, because I had actually had a bench test of a wing segment that's bolted to a bench that's actually holding a launch rail for this, scaled from the original launch rail for this AGM 114. And I was surprised how accurate it actually was. And so I decided, okay, well, we're going to continue with the C67, the B44. The 883 was cool, but I'm wondering how much more power we're going to get out of these. I'd love a little bit longer field to shoot it in, but at this point I think what we're going to end up doing is my backyard as usual, but I have to cut down the winter grass first, because my grain is almost ready to harvest. It's, how it is in the valley. You have to deal with that winter grass. It likes to poke its head up right at the end of winter, and it's ruthless and grows within days. So I'm going to cut that down today. I'm going to get some filming done back there with these. One of the projects that I'm working on that I've seen people working on, and I don't know why they're putting it on YouTube, because you would think that kind of thing would be something you'd want to keep secret until the DARPA competition. But the DARPA Lift Challenge is something that, for me, it came along at the right time. I was right in the middle of putting together the Shrike Ultra, which is a much heavier class vehicle, so it's not going to qualify for this particular lift challenge, but it will be something that's viable in the future for its specific purpose and its role, which would be search and rescue operations. Even CSAR. So we want to make sure that gets out there and finished. But I kind of got sidetracked when I kind of got into the DARPA lift, but it kind of slowed down some of the smaller drone stuff that I was doing with EDF drones, and which, hey, it's fine. Okay, I knew it was going to happen. I'm getting more content put together for you guys, but it just took so long to get this project set up, start from the math, work my way up, build the model, start printing. Basically, it's a 3D printed drone, and you think, wow, that's crazy. How are you going to, complete a challenge like this? Because if you look at the rules on the actual DARPA website, you can only be, Part 107 rules. You have to follow all Part 107 rules. There is a 44807 exemption once the actual competition takes place for hauling the payload, but you're stuck at that 55-pound weight. And you're like, how am I going to lift at least 110 pounds with a 55-pound craft? 4 nautical miles, and then fly back unloaded 1 nautical mile and land. And do all of that within 30 minutes. It is a heck of a challenge. And DARPA is notorious for making things almost impossible. Because they want to see what people come up with. They want to see how... I'm muted? Am I muted? Stand by. Let me check. Are you sure it's just not your volume? It's got to be, because it looks like it's working now. So... hold on 1 second. Let me get myself set here. This Arduino is going to give me a headache. Okay. All right. That's one of the drones. So, all I was saying was basically I was talking about the DARPA Lift Challenge and why I'm in it. And we were also talking about these. We're going to fire these off later. And I'll put that video up because I have a bunch of these, and we're going through the AA3s and all the way through to the C67, and we're gonna see how they fly. Because I wanted, originally it is for entertainment purposes, but it's also for educational purposes as to why you should never ever fire anything like this off of an actual RC vehicle. Now, a lot of people like ask me in comments, can you put that on this plane? Can you put that on this plane? And I'm like, well, you can't really legally put this on any plane. What I did is I printed out a wing segment that had a hard point for the AGM 114. And I put it on a stand. And I bolted that stand to a table. So it's more like a horizontal launch pad than a vertical one. And it's to show the inaccuracies of doing something like this. These in real life are guided systems. So they don't rely on just coming off the rail to be accurate. And they're not going to have the aerodynamics at this scale unless they're going really, really fast. So this isn't legal to put on an RC craft. Don't ever put one of these on an RC craft. I'm launching it off of a controlled bench stand on the ground, just horizontal. In a controlled area, and I've got a big sheet of ply that it's hitting so that this breaks up and doesn't go anywhere. But I thought about printing a couple of these out of the carbon fiber reinforced nylon that I'm using for my other drone, the DARPA project, and to see if it actually is strong enough to penetrate that plywood, depending on which missile I use. But it'll be fun. Snap-on or Mac tools? I want to say Snap-on. Personally, I would say Makita, but just because a friend of mine uses Makita. But the set that I have is Craftsman, so but, you know, to each his own. I suppose no. Just I would say, I mean, my Craftsman works good. I don't have any complaints on that. But I kind of wanted to show what was going on with part of my drone. The scale of it is kind of is massive, and honestly, I kind of didn't when I first got into it. I was like, okay, this is gonna be fine. And you've all seen like regular drone batteries. You know, they're that big, you know, maybe depending on the size of this drone, I suppose. Standard size is around 1500, maybe 2300 milliamps, 4S to 6S, depending on what kind of frame that you're actually, you know, flying around. But when I got, okay, so I have two batteries. I'm going to show you something real quick. You've seen batteries like this, I'm sure. Standard drone battery. Now this is for part of my build. And you're going, wow, that's interesting. DARPA lift challenge. You have to lift 110 pounds for 4 nautical miles, and that's the first battery you pull out, right? Well, that... How missile falls target. This one is what I think. This one is just heat signature. I don't think it's cross sectional. I think it's IR. I think it's laser guided. Actually, this one, the longbow version is another. Anyway, the point is, so this battery here is part of my DARPA lift drone, and you're thinking, wow, that's incredible. How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna lift a 165-pound all-up weight with that? That's only part of the system. Now I'm gonna show you one. I still have to get a charger for this one. I didn't even know I had to get a different. I mean, I thought maybe my charger would handle it, but I have to get a whole other charger, which is gonna make my friend who actually helped me, you know, get the parts, very happy to find out that I'm gonna have to get a battery charger for these because I forgot to order it with the batteries. So this battery is only one of two that'll be powering my drone. Now I can't show you the design. Lord knows I want to, but I can't because I have to wait until the competition's over. But a battery is a battery, right? This, yeah, it's lithium. It's a lithium ion, or lithium polymer. Same thing, I suppose. This is a 12S 20 amp hour battery, or 23 amp hour battery. And it's only one of two that will be on my drone for my entry. Not showing, like I said, the design, not until after the competition's over with, because I wish I could. I'll show you the propeller though. I can show you the prop because the propeller is a propeller. This is one of the props I'll be using on this drone. This is a beautiful one right here. This weighs almost nothing, and it's from Mad Components, and it is a 40.1 by 16 inch prop. This is insane. And it's durable, it's strong. It can pull 65 kg. Okay, so it can pull a lot. How many volts? I'm running 88 nominal, so 100 fully charged. So yeah, this is going to be a 24S setup, running these props on some specific motors. We're not going to go into much more detail than that. I am going to be using, like most drones, I'm using a Maytech, flight controller. I'm going to be using a standard, I don't know if I'm going with an iFlight GPS or something else, but I'm not sure of the specific requirements that they want on the GPS side. You have to do the remote ID. You have to have the craft's remote ID on there, stuff like that. When you enter the competition, I was excited when they opened this up to a whole bunch of people, not just corporations, but they opened it up to people like me who were in their garage that I turned into a shop, sort of, and I was psyched about it. I was like, you know what? I did the math on this particular project probably for about a month before I even considered doing any CAD work. And right now I'm waiting for my carbon fiber stuff to come in because it's back ordered. And they mentioned, like, when I talked to them, they're like, no, it's gonna be like 2 weeks before it gets shipped out. And I'm like, why is that? I'm like, well, there's a lot of people that are doing this DARPA lift challenge. I'm like, oh man, how many people am I up against? I can only imagine. But it's gonna be a lot of fun, I think, and it's gonna add a new tool to our logistics arsenal anyway. I'm confident in my design. I am. I'm very confident in it. I may not win first place, but what matters is that DARPA likes to look for innovation. They like to see problem solving, and instead of just, well, let's overpower it and send it. Sometimes they like to overpower it and send it, but sometimes when things are like, if weight is mission critical, then that's something that they want to see. What did you do to mitigate specific weight at specific points? And you CAD too. I use Fusion 360 myself, but I have counted literally every single gram of weight that's going into this craft to basically utilize all that I can out of the 55 that you get with a Part 107 craft. And for me, that was extremely difficult because I'm thinking, you need massive VTOL power to lift the payload. High disk loading, it's just, you're looking at a lot of power that's going to be spent on VTOL. So the quickest way to do it is to make sure you're not in VTOL for a long time. No loitering, no hovering. So it's going to be a surprise when people see it, because I don't think, like I said, I'm not going to share it. I've seen people sharing some of their designs on YouTube, and that's great for their channel, I guess, but it's not something I'm willing to give out yet until after the competition, and only if the IP doesn't end up belonging to the government afterwards. So that's why I'm kind of not putting it out there until afterwards. Like, if I just place, I'm not the winner, they don't take it or whatever, or if it's not something that's classified afterwards, then I'm going to show the videos. We record the whole thing. Everyone's going to be recording it, I'm sure. I don't know how strict they are on these challenges when it comes to stuff like that, so I'm trying not to take any risks. And that's really the big thing. So, this is one of the batteries. It's actually pretty heavy. I did allow a lot. I mean, I think half of my weight budget for the craft is in both of the batteries, these batteries that power the system. This one is also involved, but it powers something else on the system. Having to count every single gram and go, okay, and then you go to the printer, because for me, I'm printing this. I'm printing most of this. And for me, I'm trying to, like, I'll go through, oh, we got a little motorcycle outside. Little dirt bike. Yeah. They're upset because I put a fence around the property that I'm watching across the street. So now they're like, we can't go dirt biking. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's my job. But you know, when I'm using a 3D printer for a lot of the parts of my project, and when you're going through and you're estimating weight, I noticed something. I noticed something on the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon, which is what I'm using. And I'm printing PA6 CF20. So you're already running the bed at 100 and the nozzle at 300. And that's like the optimal range when you're printing that kind of carbon fiber reinforced nylon. And the cool part about it is, well, it's not cool. You have to dry the stuff. So you put it in there and you're drying it for like 12 to 24 hours because I'm using 3 kilograms spools. And you can't put them in the AMS. So I had to have my own box that I made to roll them out of. And the interesting part was after I put wrote down the grams for the model weight that I was projecting. I went ahead and weighed the model afterwards, and it came in like 5 grams under for some of the pieces, sometimes 10 grams for other pieces, and that was really, really good to see, because it hits, because that's, I'm counting grams when it comes to this build. That A1 is a nice one. Yeah, the cabinet helps. It really depends on what you're printing. Standard PLA, it's not a real big deal. But if you're printing like materials that like heated chambers, like maybe ABS, maybe ASA, carbon fibers, things like that, the nylons like the PA6, things like that, definitely you want to have a heated chamber. So, I mean, it wouldn't take much to, just get some sheet metal, make a box, put a roof on it, and a door with some plexiglass, and just kind of put it over the top of it. Let the bed do the heating. That's kind of what the X1 Carbon relies on when it comes to chamber temperature. If you're looking at higher chamber temperatures that you're needing for a specific material, the heat bed does the heating for the most part. If the chambers, and you could probably insulate it too, I would think, and get some more heat out of the chamber. But the risk is that you end up clogging the extruder because things get too hot in there and the filament gets floppy and just rolls up inside the gears, and then you're changing out an extruder. That's all there is to it. Now, one of the other things that I noticed was with there's a lot of steps you want to take with PA6CF. You got to dry it out first. Then when you're done printing with it, you want to make sure the bed temps at least 100, because as it cools, it wants to shrink. And so if it's dried out properly, it will shrink a little bit, and you'll end up with it pulling itself off the bed. Now that 100 C bed keeps it on there. And I use the engineering plate on the Bamboo Lab because it's more effective in holding it down. And it really doesn't like the PEI plate, textured plate. It wouldn't use the tack plate because I think that would ruin the finish on the tack plate, to be honest with you, at 100 C. Or you'd never get the print off. So Yeah, acrylic sheets would be, I mean, that would insulate it. That'd be a good idea. That's a good idea. 3D print like the corners or whatever, and acrylic sheets, maybe silicone the edges. You don't have to worry about making a big structure. The acrylic itself is the structure. So you're just printing corners and rails and stuff to slide it into and put it over the top. And you can keep that, draft. If you've got a draft to where you're working, or if the temperature's not, steady, that'll help keep it steady, I would think. But on the X1 carbon, using PA6CF is interesting because dry the filament, then you print with it, really hot bed, really hot nozzle. Then you have to take it out, put it in an oven at 195 degrees Fahrenheit, anneal it for about 6 hours, and then take it and put it into, I have a tent that's kind of sitting up there behind me that I run a humidifier into, and I put the humidity at 70%, and I let it sit overnight to reabsorb moisture, because the PA6CF is designed to have a specific amount of moisture in it. It's what gives it its impact resistance. So, and a subscriber actually taught me that. So kudos to them for that. They know who they are, and they're probably not watching because I think there's only one of you. Oh yeah, for that project. See, I knew the battery was the issue on that, with the size of the motor that you were using. I was like, no, you gotta have more power on that for the reaction to be quicker. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. One of my batteries for this project. And I can tell you, this is going to be fun. I'll tell you this right now. These are going to be fun. I'm going to record these later today. I'll have a video up tonight, hopefully. And I'll be firing those off that rail that I made for the horizontal launch pad. And then, oh my gosh, these things are unbelievably cool. The torque this is going to have, 65 kilograms that this can take is insane. I love it. I love this stuff. It's what I love doing, man. Now you're working on a different project, basically. Autonomous bot system. I gotta see that when the time comes. I want to see that when you're done with it. Because you got ideas, man. You got ideas that are cool. And I'd love to see it. What lithium ion cells do I use? Well, right now I'm using, one of the brands that I've been using is this one right here. This is a good brand. I've also got some Z, I don't know if it's 3 E's or not, ZEEE LiPo. There's one graphene LiPo that I have over there that I'm using for some of my smaller, because I'm doing EDF drones, and that's where let me put the missiles aside. That's where this one comes in. Let me get this out of the way. Lay that down. Oh. This is the EDF drone. This one's going to actually be running 70 millimeter EDF. And I have already done one of these before, like I said on a couple previous lives. This is the Shrike concept drone. It's in the Strike concept drone playlist. There's a flat dark earth and ED FDE colored one that I flew around. Worked out really, really good. So I'm building another one that I can fly at night for fun. So I'm waiting again. I'm still waiting for the motors. I just spent like 10 grand, okay, on the DARPA challenge. So I'm really trying to get more of these. More was like every time I turn around, it's another couple $100. But this comes out of my pocket. The other one comes out of my investors' pocket. And so I kind of those are separate finances. I'm only on vet benefits, so I gotta wait to get my stuff. But and he's not gonna like I said before. I got these batteries, these 12S massive batteries from Mad Components, 23 amp hour, and this requires a specific charger. And this is in a whole other class of drone, right? So this takes a charger I'm going to have to get, and he's not going to like it when I show him how much it is. But we kind of have to have it or we're not flying. So I got most of my stuff in. The only thing I'm waiting for is the carbon fiber. And afterwards, when it's all said and done, if the IP isn't classified by DARPA, or something of that nature, then I'll be able to show you guys, and I think you'll love it. I think it's the coolest thing. It really is. Oh wow. Really? Carrying 2 other drones underwater and aerial. See, I've seen these aerial drones coming out. I've seen them, drones that are able to just take up off out of the water and go underneath. That would be awesome. Maverick, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to chat. But yeah, I know what you're referring to, and I would love to see that. I want to see that. I want to see like this underwater sub, like releasing drones that come out and fly up to the surface and then poof, they're out of the water and gone. So that Arduino, I think, is getting warm. Yeah, it is a little bit. I'm gonna have to put like a heat sink right there. It's not that many lights, man. All right, we'll get that figured out. But anyway, that's the 70mm EDF drone. So, well, everyone, how is everyone thinking? What's your stance so far on what's going on with Iran and the war and the conflict we're having? I didn't want to talk too much about it. I did kind of want to talk about it, and the parts that kind of reflect in our community. Like, there's a lot of drones involved, right? Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. There's actually a plug. There's a converter plug I could make, but this is there's a 12S balance charger plug that they have on these, and I know what charger I would be using, but I was hoping. I got a hold of Mad, and I was hoping, because they didn't send me the converters. I guess they should have come in a box. And they didn't. So I wrote them, and I was like, "There's this what is it, JNS converter or something like that? I can't remember what it's called, but it converts it so that it can go into the balance charger. Because for whatever reason, the chargers, they're all, even the 12S, are all single line, and these are double stacked pins on these batteries. Dang, that's a lot of NVIDIA. That's cool though. Would you be? Are you talking about like the whole mothership coming out and then the drones taking off? Because a lot of drones can fly underwater. What if they were deployed underwater and then came out? That would be cool. FreeCAD. Is it called FreeCAD, or is it just, are you calling it a FreeCAD system? If it's FreeCAD, I'll look it up, check it out, see what it's about. Right now, I use Fusion 360, which is pretty cool. But Aditya, the drone concepts you're talking about is like awesome. Can you imagine a submarine like spitting out drones and then they come up out of the water in strategic locations that nobody's even aware of? That would be like epic. Two separate drones. The underwater drone is already made. Oh, really? Oh, you know I gotta see that. Yeah, send it to me on. You were sending stuff to me on Instagram. Send it there if you want. I'll check it out when I get done here. FreeCAD is trash. Fusion 360 and Onshape are extremely intuitive. Is Onshape really that good? Because I hadn't really used it that much. FreeCAD is open source, but unnecessarily difficult to use. Yeah, I really don't like a lot of. I like even Fusion sometimes their UI gets changed up every time they do an update, and you're like looking for something else. It's like before I could go in and make a part, but now every time I open a document, it goes into a component where I have to go in and make a part inside the component. So I can't just make a whole what I used to do is just model all over the whole file. And then if I needed a component, I would turn an object into a component or a solid body to a component, and then pull it into a component file where I want to place it and then set its pivot points and its materials and all that other good stuff. But now, Fusion has made it to where each individual file is a component. Now, sometimes you don't design that way. Sometimes you design in an open space where you're designing all your parts together in the same file. And now they've messed it up where now I have to go in and make the part individually and then throw it into a big component file. And yeah, I get it. Okay, you want to do all your measurements and get everything, all your ducks in a row before you start CADing, so you know it doesn't matter if you're in component mode already and you're designing a part, because it's going into another bigger file or whatever. But I don't know, I don't CAD that way. I like having a big wide open space where all my tools are just kind of everywhere, and I can just pick it up and then make the part and put it on there, and if it works, it works, and then I can make it into a component if I need to do any kind of load studies or CFD analysis and things like that. So I hear SolidWorks is good. I have a debate with a friend of mine about SolidWorks. I'm Fusion, he's SolidWorks, and it's like, you know, mortal enemies, that kind of thing. But he's hardcore SolidWorks, and I'm more. But he's more into like plasma cutting tables. As a matter of fact, he was working on his plasma. I'm putting a video out about that because we were doing some. We went through a lot getting that table lined up to put new rails on it. Because he's got this really nice Torchmate laser or plasma, and we had to redo the top where the teeth are for the rails, and then the gantry rides across the rails. It was not an easy task. I mean, we went from literally him drawing out the top rails and having them laser cut on a super expensive machine, you know, from across the state that cost him like hundreds of dollars, to just finally settling on cold rolled that we just basically pulled out and put on there and checked distances and made sure that they weren't bowed. dealing with that little bit of elephant footing you get where the shear cuts it off before it goes to the, when it leaves the steel mill. And then making sure everything was lined up, double checking it, clamping it, mag drilling it, attaching it to the table. And he's been doing a lot of work getting the rails put on, the teeth rails, the guide rail for the actual gantry. And it's coming out sweet. So it's gonna be a sweet table when it's done. Gotta hand it to him. The guy knows how to work on stuff. Hello, my dear. How's that coffee? Thank you. All of a sudden, I'm British. Love you. My wife always takes care of me. Mainly because if she didn't, I probably would stay out here working all the time and wouldn't eat or sleep. But when you're building a drone that you have to carry a payload, literally a 55-pound drone with a 110-pound payload. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I should call the program manager and be like, I noticed, I know you want like a minimum of 110 pounds. And I just find it, yes, good wife, big blessing, thank you. I called DARPA, or I didn't call them. I was thinking to myself, DARPA, it's funny to me how the Hellfire, or the AGM 114 in longbow version is roughly 110 pounds. And since your ceiling for the competition is 250 feet, it's fairly ironic that that's about half of the standard altitude of the radar floor in the Middle East. So, hey, when you do you, I'll just build the drone. But I found it ironic when I kind of thought about that, and I thought, I'm like sitting here firing off tiny little Hellfire missiles off of this little wing section that I have on a stand. And I'll be doing a lot more of this after I'm done with the live. I'm going to be filming that. And seeing what happens. Because the first one was cool. That one was a lot of fun. But I'm like building a DARPA drone, and at the same time I'm sitting here, before I even got in there, I was like playing with firing off scale Hellfire missiles, and I went, wait a minute. Like, okay, that's fine. They can do what they want with the drone afterward. None of my business. I'm just building it. If they want it, they want it. I shall not argue with DARPA. No, I spent some time in the military, so I know, the rules. My favorite one was hurry up and wait. I remember that one from Fort Benning. You hurry up, you hurried up and waited a lot. I thought it was funny during reception battalion. I'm in reception. They've got it as cold as humanly possible in this place. We're all in PT gear, shorts and shirt, t-shirt, summer wear. Army, Delta Company, 347th Infantry at Fort Benning. Then I went to 369th Signal Battalion at Fort Gordon and was attached to after the stuff I had to do. Then I came back and was attached to the 149th Armored before it was disbanded back in like 2007. So, but yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. And I remember, like I was saying, in reception battalion there was And this is like right after we were attacked in 2001, 9/11. That's why I went in. But I remember it being so cold in there, and then there was this whole line. We were going to get our shots, all of our inoculations, all that other stuff, and there's a whole line of these young kids just lining the wall, waiting to go in the military, in reception to get their shots. And every single one of us that walked out, we heard the guys in front of us walking down the hallway, and we would do the same thing. We would walk out of the door, go down the hall like we were supposed to, and all the other guys lined up against the end of the wall. We're talking to ourselves, and we're like holding ourselves. We're going, man, that shot in the nuts really hurt. So everybody in the hallway is just nervous as hell, thinking that they're going in to get inoculation and shots, and one's going in their sack. Okay, and that was the funniest trick I think we ever played on anybody over there. I appreciate that, Moshe. Thank you very much. I'd do it again, but my wife won't let me. Here's the thing. I never got used to eating normally again afterwards. Because Fort Benning, Delta Company, 347th, Sand Hill, you had 2 minutes to eat. Okay? That was it. You get 2 minutes. After being in the military for as long as I was and coming home, I still have yet to shake that habit of eating my meal in less than 2 minutes. And it's just something I have never been able to shake. But my builds are only one savior. Thank you for coming in. My builds are coming along great. I apologize to everyone that hasn't that I haven't been putting out a lot of video lately. It's just because of the DARPA project being so cumbersome. I do have a little bit of time sometimes when I'm doing a very long print. Then I can work on another video, which is what I plan on doing today. Firing off more Hellfires. That's going to be fun. And I said, what I said before, I was thinking before, I'm going to print some of these out of the carbon fiber reinforced nylon that I do have, and I'm going to see if it penetrates the backstop on that I'm firing at, because I have a 4x8 sheet of OBS that I'm using to block it, because I don't want it to go far. It was just the idea of stability off the rail when it comes off the wing rail, and the wing rail, of course, is just a wing segment that's attached to a stand that's attached to a table that's basically bolted to the ground. So I'm not firing it from an RC aircraft. It's basically a demonstration of why you shouldn't, and it's illegal to boot. So you don't want to do that. You get yourself in trouble. So don't do that. This is the one I fired was the A83. That video was already out, and it was pretty cool. It was fairly accurate, except I think close to the end before it hit the OBS, it started to bank down and away. But I couldn't tell because of the way I had my two cameras set up if it started to bank down and away after it glanced off the OBS or not. So what I'm going to try and do is move the launcher back a little bit farther. I'm going to be aiming for the OBS in my backyard again. And then I'm going to fire the other two. And the next one's going to be the B44 and then the C67. So you got two pretty big ones we're going to do. Joshua Smith, hi, how you doing? Do I have general advice for PID? It depends on what you're using. Are you using iNav or RD Pilot or anything like that? And there's a lot of variables in that question. What flight controller, what size prop, How heavy is the craft? Maverick, the fortune cookie of Hellfire missile technology. It's more of a Stingray boat. I mean, so it doesn't disturb Corvette. Oh, that's a good idea. I want to see that one. I can't wait to see it when I'm done with here. I'll look on there and take a look. No, they're not legal to put on an RC. That's what I was trying to say. These are not legal to put on an RC aircraft. That's why the wing and what I wanted to demonstrate was the inaccuracy of trying to take something like this and fire it off of a hard point, off of a wing segment. So I created the wing segment on a stand, bolted it to the table, and that's on the ground, obviously. So it's more of a horizontal launch pad than it is a vertical launch pad, and it's definitely not an RC craft. If you watch the first video, when I fired the A83, you can see the stand that I created. It is not legal to fire these from an RC. It's not illegal to fire anything from an RC aircraft. And I am not telling you to do that. And I would encourage against it. Don't do it. Okay? You're gonna get yourself in trouble, possibly hurt, that kind of thing. Don't do it. This is proving to everyone what I'm talking about. When you see these take off from that launch stand that I have, because the hard point mimics the hard point on a wing, it's basically a matter of this is how inaccurate this system is. You just don't do it. Besides the legalities, it's not practical. I know people drop stuff like in airsoft, like chalk from airplanes. You see them dropping, TPU rubber, bomblets and stuff like that. I don't even know if that's legal, to be honest with you. High torque, low speed, and waterproof. Well, most DC technology is waterproof except for the PCBs that they put in some of these newer boards inside the motor itself. Hey, Ghost, how's it going? Shots, critical shots, Ghost. Critical shots 1. What's going on, man? Hey, don't worry about it. I'll be here for a little while. You're not late. You're right on time. The best motor to use if you're going to do that is going to be a boat motor. One that's cooled by water. Is usually waterproof. And there are some for, oh gosh. I know there's a couple of them out there that are waterproof. I can't think of them right offhand. A B-34? Oh, you want direct drive? I see what you're saying. So you need a motor you don't want to have to go through a sealed compartment, because that causes issues too. Because then as you're going, as you're going lower in depth, then a sealed container tends to contract with the air pressure, and that can cause problems. But yeah, there's a couple of motors. There's a couple of motor options out there. I would look at the boat RC sections of most of the online hobby stores. I'm pretty sure you'll find what you're looking for there. A lot of their stuff is going to be water cooled and waterproof. Their ESCs are going to be sealed. They're going to have like pores and stuff like that are over it. And they're going to have cooling grids that, inlets that go through them. So Uh, the great part about you having an amphibious type of rover is the fact that not only are you cooling your electronics while you're down there, they're waterproof already. So I would just search that the boat RC sector or the submarine RC sector. There's got to be a place that specializes in these motors, in these ESCs and things like that are all waterproof, that would fit your application perfectly. Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to have a dry ESC. You can get a sealed one that's actually got water cooling inlets, which would benefit you, I think. Yeah, that's the cooling code. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've seen those, and they have the inlets. That's exactly what I mean. And most of the time, these motors are waterproof. So that's one of the things you got. I would look into. With my motors, um, they're not. I don't. I don't. They're probably waterproof to a degree, but most DC is waterproof. Now the problem is you're going through a three-phase converter through that ESC, so that causes problems unless it's designed to be waterproof. But DC is waterproof in general. This better not be another AI generated prank like you did last time. You had me going for like half an hour. Critical shot. Do you? I can take a look, but hold on. Let me pull it up here. I can't share it with anyone. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. Don't worry. I won't share anything if you don't want me to. But I've got Discord up if you want to send me a picture or something like that. I already know what you're doing. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm not gonna say anything to anybody. I'll show a picture if you show out a picture though, because that was funny. You've been building your own lithium-ion packs lately. Is that hard to do? I imagine it's not that hard to do, but you got to be careful. You got on what materials you use and where are you getting your individual cells, because that's something I've been wanting to get into for another project, because I went from like I have packs that I use like standard packs from Z and from I forget all the brand names, but uh, 22.2 volt packs. I've got 14. You name it. I've got packs all over the place. But I would love to put together my own pack, and I imagine it would be cheaper than some of the other packs. I don't even want to tell you how much this pack is one of two of my big drone project for DARPA. I don't want to tell you how much this battery cost. Can you take a guess? Let's guess how much this battery cost. It's a 12S, 20 amp hour. Yeah, it's a 20 amp hour. That's what I figured. This is a 12S 20 amp hour. I have two of them to make a 24S system. How much did that battery cost me? Don't try to look it up. Just guess. Yeah. Too much is right. No, this battery was about $1,000. and I had to buy 2 of them for my drone project. Because they're pushing motors that are spinning these props. Okay. And I know you're thinking to yourself, I want to see the design. I can't show you. I would love to show you, but I can't. Oh, I can't do it. Yep, 1,000. Those are special batteries. 12S, 20 amp hour. That's 20,000 milliamps. You probably can, but I've never built batteries before. So for this project, I couldn't trust myself to build the battery and then wrap it accurately and all that other stuff, because there's a lot of safety things I had to consider under the Part 107 rules of this competition. Well, if I win, they're going to reimburse me. I saw that, Critical. Hold on, let me check it out. If I win, they're going to reimburse me $2.5 million. Are you being haunted again? You know, it's not you. I don't think it's you. After the last update I got on my phone, it hasn't been able to do text-to-speech to save its own life. It's been horrible. I don't know what they did, but they messed it up bad. War Machine. Actually, it's Drone Power Concepts LLC. Already have a business. They'll hire you. Thank you, Maverick. I hope it all turns out well. I mean, there's so much room for momentum in this field, even if you don't win the challenge. I think there's prizes for people who have the most innovative idea. Even if they don't win, they still get like $500,000. So it's worth getting into to even if you don't win. But I spent almost 2 months on the math right before I started the CAD work. And I was like, I need more time to do this, because I was having trouble getting investors. I was trying to use the contributor portal, but when I went to one of the motor or one of the companies that makes motors in the contributor portal through the DARPA website, I contacted them about help with motors, and they go, well, we don't have any out right now, but we can help you prototype one. I'm like, that's not going to help me in these time constraints. So the 2 months that I was hoping for, looking for an investor, and then going over the math and getting the CAD work ready, I got back, because originally it was going to be June 26th, and then they moved the competition to August 2nd through the 9th. So that gave me those months back to continue building, and I've been building ever since. It's taking a while, and it's also I didn't realize that acquisition of materials is almost as hard as building what you're building. Hey, it was good talking to you, Moshe. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the conversation. Yes, Critical, tell me the truth. Are you going to tell me here, or are you going to tell me in Discord? I knew it. All right, hold on. I'm gonna read it. I won't read it out loud. Do you want me to read it out loud? This guy's being haunted. If you want me to read this out loud, I'll read it out loud. So that everyone can hear your haunting story. Okay, I will do that. We're gonna read it out loud. And last night at 3:45 a.m., the attic floorboards creaked like something heavy was pacing above. Every few seconds, a long, dragging sound moved across the dusty boards. I should be doing this for a living. Boxes that had been stacked for years were found toppled over. Footprints, too small for an adult, appeared on the dust, leading from the hatch to the far corner, then vanished. Temperatures dropped sharply, leaving the air icy. I'm sorry. And thick. Strange whispers, barely audible, carried through the ceiling. A faint scratching came from behind the old trunk, and then the attic door rattled, as if something unseen was trying to get out. For minutes, the sound of soft thumps and shifting furniture echoed without any source. Even the motion sensor picked up movement where nothing could be entered and nothing left. Okay, that was a typo. You were talking about the autocorrect. And nothing left. The shadows in the corners stretched long, then possible, and then old trunk shifted slowly closer to the hatch, and then silence fell. But the air on the back of the neck stayed. Oh, the hair. Okay, well, I see all your typos right here. Or it's either that or on my end. Let me start that one over. Silence fell, but the hair on the back of the neck stayed raised, and the air remained cold, like whatever had moved had lingered, watching, waiting. That's an awesome story. And if that actually happened, I would get an exorcist for your house immediately. You guys want me to read scary stories for you guys from now on? I'll do it through my Rode NT1 microphone so I can get like the full ambience of my voice in there. Burn some incense, put a holy water in a spray bottle. Yeah. Oh man, that might work on cats. Yeah, I mean, go for it. That was actually kind of fun. If I could read it through my freaking bifocals. You'll write some quickly. Oh, but I don't have my Rode NT1 set up out here, so I can't. You're just going to have to deal with the audio from the iPhone 17 Pro Max. This is not a commercial. Because the voice-to-text operations on the iPhone used to work pretty good. Now, they're awful. Thanks for the update. I appreciate it. It's kind of like taking away our plastic bags and giving us back paper ones. What the hell was that for? I didn't do anything to you, Apple. Did you say... Did you say toilet ghost? I've had some of those in my day. You ever fart so hard your back cracks? I'm telling you. Those are the good ones. That's when your stomach goes down, your back goes pop, 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 pop. And you're like, oh, if anyone comes within 25 feet, they're not going to survive. And you're proud of it. Take pride. Our beef is strong. All right, hold on. We got another story here. People are leaving. They're like, I don't want to watch this guy. All right. This is a short one. And then after this, we'll take a break from that. It came from the woods last night, pale, wrong eyes, hollow, black skin stretched too tight over its bones. It moved like a man, but twisted like a corpse dragging along the walls. The shadows twisted into faces that weren't there. It watched from every doorway, every window, every mirror, and it wore the skin of people it had taken. Twitching and whispering, a figure appeared at the edge of vision. But it was wrong, too long, too thin. Teeth bared, and it smiled as the floor quivered and the walls pulsed. The dark seemed alive. The whisper said, "Come closer," said, "Follow," and that feeling of being watched never left. I hope you could hear me. I was trying to be ominous. I almost went into my Jason Statham voice, and nobody can ever hear what he says. Anyway, that was fun. When you moved into your farm at 3 a.m., I would hear footsteps walking towards my toilet, then it would flush. Well, at least it's being courteous. Did it put the seat down? I would say that was a very interesting ghost. I never did really follow the whole, paranormal thing. I watched a couple channels. It was just all bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. And you take the amplifier and the noise gate and the reverb, and they act like they're talking to somebody, and they're playing like sound videos from like dead celebrities, and they're acting like they're talking to them. And then the noise gate lets some of the sound through, and then the reverb takes over, and you hear what you want to hear. Pareidolia, bam, you have a channel. And it's stupid. I imagine the supreme leader of Iran can tell you that he's not here anymore. All he is dust in the wind. Russell, hello. Did you say bot alert? Four people died digging your well? Did you get him out? Or is this going to be a grudge? Is this going to be like a Ring thing, like the movie Ring? Like you're going to come out like you're going to have your TV and stuff like that. I see a well on your TV, dude. That's it. You're done. 7 days. In the 70s. So much for staying alive. See what I did there? $18,000 people died from the smell from the public bathroom that I left. I would say see a doctor. But it depends on who they were. You might be an asset to your country. I don't know. Why did you say that? Yeah, that'd be my next question. What did you eat? Was it like something off of Strangers? Was it from the Upside Down? That's a good question, Roadhouse. I would say it would be good karma, because I figure if they're a zombie, they're not who they were before anyway. So, win-win? And nobody eats you? Yeah. Yeah, we used to have a pretty bad zombie problem around here. But I got a flamethrower and then, yeah, done. Well done. Sorry, Ellen DeGeneres joke. I wonder if Maduro and Diddy are sharing oil. Too soon? You're scrolling so far you reached America. Well, this is where the scrolling stops. Show me your papers. No, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's all we ever asked was like someone, you come through the right way, and then we can count you, and then we can allocate resources to take care of you while you're here and stuff like that. And people just don't get that. And we don't want the illegal drugs coming over the border and weapons and criminals that harm Americans, because then we just go full straight up friggin' total destruction on your country. And you're dealing with a different kind of president right now. All right, he's basically said the Democrats basically have been living off of whatever the hell they want to through all of these proxies in these different countries, lining their pockets. That shit's done. We took their money. So sorry. You're just going to have to deal with it. And poor Canada losing in the one sport you think they'd be good at during the Olympics. It's got to be a shock to the system. I mean, come on. And to be honest with you, I'd encourage any country that wants to take on America to F around and find out, and we'll be with you shortly. And if you have any natural resources, you're getting democracy, whether you like it or not. They got banned in really? How do you cheat in curling? Like, really? How do you cheat doing that? And who invented curling? Well, what bored soul invented curling? What guy was just sitting back there like 100 years ago on a frozen lake, sliding rocks and going, this would be a good sport? Who did that? Hockey, I get, okay? It's a fun sport. There's a lot to it. You don't your anticipation goes. I mean, you're excited. It's violent, but to a degree. They did, and we're actually going to check that out together as a family. We're all going to try and get on there. My daughter said it was a test server, so I assume you're still working on it. Question is, what do they win after winning in curling? No money anyway. Yeah, it's like you slid a rock across ice. That's a sport, people. Really? Yeah, I figured it was a test server. We want to check it out all together and kind of get on there and play it out. See how it is. I'll even stream it if you want me to, but only if you have a fairly finished version that you're happy with. Yeah, okay. So next time I do a game stream, I don't normally play Roblox, but I will play this. I've been trying. I actually tried Battlefield 6 for the first time. The reason why I was skeptical on actually playing Battlefield was because I saw how Warzone went total Fortnite and had superheroes coming in, all that. And all we want is a war game, a realistic war game. And Warzone sold out. They sold out like Metallica on a heartbeat. Just like that. Okay? So I didn't like it. Battlefield 6, awesome game. I'm going to stream it again probably later. I like playing it. But I turn off the voice chat because people can be ugly on there. When I first started playing it, they're like, "You're level 1. I'm not going to play with you." I'm like, why the hell would you think I'm level 1? What would be the reason that I'm level 1? I just started. You know, like that's like somehow they act like it's a skill issue. You're level 1. You can get points and level up on that game just by. You know how many AFKs I see as soon as we start the match? They're just standing there the whole time. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be level 1 when I first start. Hey, Glory, how's it going? Been a while, brother. And to all of you who may be watching, I do have a goal up there. There's a goal in the chat. You don't have to, but it'd be really cool. Help me pay for a battery charger for those friggin' cells I'm going to charge for this project. Well, curling is a work from home day routine for unemployment. Yeah, okay. Would you say it's better or worse than golf? I know there's a lot of people who really love golf. I could see how it would be fun, but I think I'd be the guy throwing my clubs in the water, to be honest with you. Like, I have a lack of depth perception because I'm left-eye dominant, and I'm just gonna, by the time I hit the ball, I'm gonna be in a hole 4 feet deep. Okay, this is all there is to it. I'm not playing golf. So I'd try it, but you know, at my age, I would one swing and it would be like I'd break my shoulder, jaw, lower back, pretty much the whole thing. So it is what it is. But I'm good at war. Miss war. It was fun. But I can't do it no more. But I can build stuff for it. Golf or curling if you want to fall asleep. Golf comes with country club membership too. I never understood country clubs. Okay, I worked. A friend of mine, or my cousin, had a friend that they were all doctors. Don't mind the speed limit out there. They were all doctors and were a band called DNR. Pardon the pun. And they played in a country club, and my cousin worked sound for them, and they needed someone to work lighting, and I did the lighting. So I worked lighting for them, and I was younger. Okay, I was younger. So I go in, I'm doing the lighting, and all these rich older people are like wanting to dance with me and stuff like that. So I'm like, there's this grandma who wants to dance with me. So of course you have to do it, you know, just to be social and to be. And I'm in this country club, and I'm going into this guy's house, and I'm like, it's this massive freaking house, and I'm like, they're all brain surgeons, you know? And it was just insane. It's like, I don't need that much money to be happy. But I guess, I certainly wouldn't need a house that big and a country club, all the other stuff. I just need a nice home, some land to grow on, have a few animals, so I can be somewhat self-sustaining, put up my solar stuff, be on a well, be on a septic, have backup power, and I just need a shop, a landing pad, and an airstrip, and I'm a happy man. That's it. That's it. Oh, and a shooting range. I gotta have some range for shooting. And I don't need much land to make that happen. yeah, yeah. Country clubs are sort of the in between. Like you've got the millionaires and you've got the country club people who think they are going to be millionaires or pretend to be. It's sort of like the butter up in its perch in the fridge, staring down at the broccoli down in the drawer, in its suit. You've seen the reel, right? The vampire looking down over, all smug. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So, it was fun doing that kind of gig because I enjoyed doing the lighting. But that kind of life I just couldn't live. I need to be. I want to see the stars at night. I want to be out in the pine trees. I want to have enjoy the snow when it comes down, and enjoy the silence as much as I can with tinnitus. Thank you, Army. But yeah, that's one thing you're always going to come home with from the military is tinnitus, and it's with you forever. So yeah, I've almost forgotten what silence is like. So it's to get close to it and like somehow get some relief somehow. I don't know how you could because there's no way to really repair that. I just want to be out. That's all I need. I don't need a big, expensive house. I just need my shop where I can work and a place where my family's happy and they have some animals and they like to grow food and stuff like that and plant things and be far enough away from a city to where it doesn't bother you, but close enough where you can go get stuff that you need or make doctor's appointments or things like that you have to do. That kind of thing, And if it's like if I have to buy like a certain like a plot of land somewhere that has nothing on it, that's where I want it to be. Then that's how I'll start out. It doesn't have to have a house on it already. I can put like a nice looking double wide modular on there that's pretty modern, and then stay in that while I'm building what I want to build. But it sounds like a pipe dream, but everybody starts somewhere. And this is like one of the reasons why I got into doing experimental propulsion and things like that, and starting this channel because that's the kind of life I want. That's what I want to leave to my kids. The last thing I want to do is like leave them with a rental. Who wants to do that? I want to leave them in a state. I want to give them something. Ultimately, that's what I'm doing it for. Is for the future of my family. And it's a passion of mine to do it. So when you can do something that you love doing, and it becomes a career for you, that's when you excel at it the most. That's why most people are. You've got to put in the grind when you're younger, and you've got to do the work you don't want to do, and it happens. But then you get the education you want, or you get into the field that you want, and you do what you want to do. And then once that starts supporting you, you're golden, because not only are you supporting yourself and your family, you're doing what you want to do and you love doing it. And that's the key. That's the key to being happy in all of it. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I might be a little bit older, but not that old. I got a couple 100 years left. And there's a lot of innovation that came out of a garage. You know, what can I say? I have a lot of ideas constantly. When I go to sleep at night, I'm engineering something or running tests in my head because I know physics. So, and I know the tensile strength, the materials that I'm using, and things like that. So it's like I'm constantly either doing that, and at the same time I'm listening to a book, like on time travel or quantum entanglement or like the theory of everything, Stephen Hawking, that kind of thing, or books about Einstein and things like that. I just have to have that because two reasons. One, it helps me sleep, don't know why. And two, it's because I have the tinnitus. That is the loudest thing that I deal with all the time. And it's just, it kind of drowns that out, you know? You can't be in silence when you have tinnitus. It will drive you mad. So, I hope one day they have a cure for it. But, you know, once those little hairs are damaged in the cochlea, you pretty much, that's it. Oh, explosions. Military. Getting hit with stuff close by. Catching shrapnel in the arm. That's how close it was. Taking a round on my right knee. I've got still bullet fragment in this arm. It was rough. But when something happens, when an explosion happens, and you're close enough to it to where you know tinnitus is going to be the outcome, you don't actually hear the explosion. You hear a thump. And that's it. You don't even hear the explosion. You feel it, but you just thump. That's all. That's it. You don't get to hear the explosion. Captain Fry. I don't understand the reference. Am I missing something? Oh God, it's Evan. Did you change your name because of the fact that you guys lost in hockey? Really? Are you like hiding? How you doing, Montgomery? Or AKA Evan? Oh yeah, from Modern Warfare. I'm sorry. I understand. I get the reference now. I'm basically when I play those games, I kind of skip the campaigns. I'm like more in it for the online play. So people ask me, they go, "What do you think about this storyline in like Modern Warfare?" I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. I've never played the campaign. Evan is your real name or Montgomery is your real name? How you been, Evan? We've missed you. You're like my favorite troll. You really are. Friends are hard to come by. Even assholes. And you're the best. Oh, yeah. Is it? I don't know. I have barely even touched the campaign in Battlefield 6, too. It's like I like the online play, and I learned how to play that way, but I don't really, I never really, the campaigns I don't care about. I care about the online play. I'm a spoiled brat. You're just mad because we whipped your ass in hockey. You want to know what Delta is in real life? Well, I mean, There's some slick mother. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to mess with them. Yeah, USA was good. Canadians found out the hard way. Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do. I think the leader of Iran did that too. And now he's everywhere. Oh, yeah. I even put up a post. So I was like, you know what? And one day it's going to be the United Planet of America. We're just going to freaking take everything. Well, I mean, you can play good, but if you lose, you lose. I'm not saying that they're not good at playing. I'm just saying we're better. Family Guy movies. Family Guy in movies. That's actually the best way to get references. Honestly, that's pretty much it. If you go with Family Guy and movies, you're gonna know everything you need to know. I think we're getting ready to take Greenland. We spoofed the hell out of Russia with it though, and they gave up one of their like biggest, most secretest subs. You know, and we were able to get cross sectional details on it by faking them out. So Russia didn't see that coming. Roadhouse. That's right. Every situation you need to deal with. Roadhouse. That's the way he says it too. Like Roadhouse. Would you all be so kind as to wait one moment? I'll return shortly. All right. I'm back. That sign did come in handy. Hold on 1 second, let me move this stuff. So what are you guys going to think can happen with the war? Do you think we're going to win? Oh yeah, old man is back. Remember when the spells were written? I'm not 501. Not yet. No one can guess my age. I dare you. Yeah, we're gonna win. We already did. We like sunk the entire navy just about. 42. Maverick is now one of my favorite subscribers. That I consider a turbine. And can you be more specific? The drones I'm doing are all EDF. So, yeah, I've considered turbine. I actually have a model of a turbojet. I have to print some more stuff, but I'm going to redo this out of the carbon fiber reinforced nylon. The stators are already actually inserted. These are built for 602 bearings. And I have a carbon fiber spar to go through all of it. And yeah, I'm going to be doing an RC turbo shaft. So I just got to redo the blades, but I'm going to do them in the carbon fiber. I might do the whole thing in carbon fiber just to do it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a turbo shaft. And it's going to run off of a... I was going to do I needed torque for it, so I was going to do like a 600 kV 6S because it had the torque for it. Not the RPMs, but you don't really need the RPMs. You get a lower kV motor and then you just gear it up. You know, step up gear the thing. And that's what the plan is. Same thing with the 170 millimeter EDF that I have. If you've seen any of the stubby fan stuff on the playlists that I've been doing, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Go check out Stubby Fan, and then check out the Shrike Concept Drone playlist. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee it. And then share it with everyone, because I want all of you to be here to watch when I test fire these things. It's going to be great. I almost wish I had a metal 3D printer, because then I would be running some actual fuels through these things. Welcome to the party. I appreciate all my subscribers. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here. Wouldn't be doing this. I didn't expect, I don't think anybody does expect to make a lot of money off of their YouTube channel with this many subscribers, but the idea behind it was to not only share the cool new stuff that I'm doing, but to also make enough to where I can keep doing it. So go check out the Shrike, because you want to see this thing. I gotta get them. I gotta get 4 motors, man. It's driving me crazy. It's only $180, and I'm like, but the DARPA project is funded by somebody else, so I can't just buy motors with that credit card. That would be wrong. So I have to wait until my vet benefits come in, and then I can get some motors and do it again. Because I had this built before, but I used the motors in a different project when I was doing the Javelin. And now I've decided to integrate the Javelin and the Shrike together as a modular system. So it can be flown as a standard drone like this with 6S 70 millimeter EDFs. And then it can be put into the Javelin's body, which accepts it. And then it becomes a tail sitter VTOL that looks like, you know, a quad bladed, you know, arrowhead. Oh, he thinks it's the clunky. You guys, if you guys think this is clunky and you don't like it, I encourage you to go watch the video. If you look up Shrike Maiden, you'll see the one that's unedited with no music. And you'll see the FDE colored one. And you tell me if it's clunky. I had an angle mode, so you know what angle mode does? It suppresses the RPM so that it can correct itself. And had I taken it out of angled mode, uh, or had I had taken it out of angle mode, I probably would have wrecked it because I'm not a great acro pilot, and getting the PDF tuning for this was difficult. Not to mention, you're not using the power distribution board on the flight controller. You're having to piggyback it on top of an APD 500X. It can handle 500 amps. So, because it's a 6S, it's a big 6,000 milliamp 6S battery. And it was still hauling balls for its weight. And that flight was a test flight anyway. I wasn't really opening it up. I want to do some straightaway runs at what I figured. I had to do the math and go, okay, what's the weight of the aircraft? What's the intended angle of incidence that I need to produce speed and maintain lift with the all-up weight? And it was about 72 degrees. So that'll give us our all-up weight. It'll keep it in the air even at that bank, and at wide open throttle could reach, you know, I'm not going for a speed record, but it's going to go well over 100. You have a question? Is that Adron or JDAM? Kind of. Well, this here? I think it's the JDAM. It's just the hard point, if this is what you're referring to, if the hard point I put on the wing is just a standard hard point for the rail that this has. It's more of the wing rail mount, so I think it's JDAM. I can't remember. I forget what model I made. I just made it to work off of the rails on the top of the Hellfire. So, and I had to remove the back rail. So, and the reason why is because I wanted to prove the stability issue of this being viable at this scale. And how, you know, kind of unreliable it is, because you really don't know what speed this is going to require to at this scale to have any kind of aerodynamics with small fins like that. So, but it's fun. It's all about having fun, you know, and doing it in a safe way. Never on an RC craft. That's why I made the mock-up of the wing that I bolted to the table. So it's more of a horizontal launch pad. But that's the idea, is to sort of have fun and see what it does. And in the first one, when I fired your A3, you could see it was a bit erratic. If I had the rear rail on there, I think it wouldn't have dipped at the rear when it came off the hard point. But there was a chance of binding too. So that's one of the things I was trying to worrying about. And now that we've done the A3, we're going to do the B44 and then the C67, and I've got a bunch more motors to use. So unfortunately, the A83 didn't survive impact with the OSB backing board that I put up there to stop it. So I'll have to print some more. But again, I was going to do the carbon fiber reinforced nylon and see if it penetrated that OBS. And if it did, that'd be kind of fun to see if it could do that with a standard rocket engine. Just for fun, you know. Paul's mini parachute? For this model? Or just... Because I have a bigger version of this, so I'm going to... Hold on. Oh, I think I got it. Sorry about that. Little bit of a internet glitch. So anyway, like I was saying, I was gonna try and make this one remote control, which would be fun, but using a 29mm Aerotech style motor. But I printed this model because I thought it was pretty cool. So it's a pretty one. I like it. I gotta paint these silver, but or aluminum. Katie's back. Tell everyone I have returned. Returned from Mordor. Oh yeah. So where was I? No, I'm not Batman's helper. There's no such thing as Batman. He seems to be a little too angry all the time, Batman, you know? And I'm sorry, but who in the hell would friggin' put... I'm sorry, just Ben Affleck is not Batman. Okay? Ben Affleck's not even a good Ben Affleck. Thor. Not quite Thor. Someone donated me a 5. Holy crap! Oh, dude! The missile... Maverick says the missile know where it is because it knows where it isn't. Confucius say. I like that. I like that. Thank you, Maverick. Thank you. Appreciate the donation. Every little bit helps. Because this stuff's expensive. Yeah. I like that saying. I do. Why I recognize it, I don't know. That's... I like it. There's a fight at your school? Well, that's never a good thing. Yeah. Well, at least we got one, right? It was a hilarious fight. Well, I hope no one got hurt. I don't encourage that kind of thing. You guys, when we were younger, we used to get when we would get into fights. It was, you know, one person would win, and then you'd help the person up. You'd shake hands, and you'd both go get something to drink or something like that, like a soda, stuff like that. Worked out our differences, you know, that kind of thing. Royman Sukana, welcome to the chat. I'm making all kinds of stuff, from rockets to drones, EDF drones, working on the DARPA project, which I can't really show you guys a lot of stuff, except for the massive batteries that I have to use. I don't want to post the actual, you know, design as of yet. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Nobody fights like we used to. You know, we settled our differences and we became friends after. Now everyone has to be the big guy on campus or something like that, or they can't handle losing, or they can't handle being wrong. So what do? They resort to violence with weapons. That's stupid. No one fights like real men anymore. You know, You do it hand to hand. You don't do it to end somebody. You do it to like prove a point. And if you proved your point and you guys got over it and you became friends afterwards, you know? Yeah, it's stupid, you know? It's like all the gangbangers walking around and stuff like that that tag my building and stuff across the street. They don't like it when I flashbang them, you know? But I didn't use a real grenade, so you should consider yourself lucky. More heads on foreheads. Yeah, that's true. Oh man. Now I've had people like go and try and rip down cameras on my buildings across the street, and um, I was sitting here watching a guy from my computer, and he's crawling up a ladder to rip the camera down. So I walk out with a 37 millimeter launcher, right, and some flashbang, and I just go boom, and boom, he falls off the ladder. And then boom, another one, and this guy comes up from underneath the fence. He's like, "What the f, bro? What's your problem?" I'm like, "Dude, you're on the other side of a fence trying to rip down a camera," and I'm standing there, of course, with my rifle because I didn't trust the gangbangers. When he saw the rifle in my hand, he dropped his gangster real quick, and they said, "Then we ain't messing with that," and walked down the street. I'm like, well, you're lucky because you're lucky I'm generous because you just destroyed private property, and we'll just let the cops take care of you instead of the coroner this time. I had to take control of my street to, for the sake of the community and because of the property being abandoned, and we're currently working on it. The idea is that I have to keep people out of there. Kids from apartments come over there, and you don't want them to get hurt, so you got to kick them off of there. And so I've got cameras everywhere and stuff like that. So it's our world's best band name. Glory. They're funny, man. Dude, let me tell you something. I liked Michael Jackson's music when I was growing up. I remember when I watched Thriller when it first came out, and it was on a console television. You know, like this big, like grandma's big old console television that looks like it came like from, it's embedded into a fireplace mantle that came off the Titanic. I mean, that's how old I am. So I remember watching that. It was the first time when Thriller came out, and it was like the debut of it, and it was on the air, like nationwide. It was like insane, and it was cool. It was cool, and I remember that house really well. I didn't like it because you know you know scary stories. You had to deal with hauntings. Well, I didn't like that place because I knew there was something there, and I knew there was something there because, and I didn't think it was a spirit from somebody who passed away. It was bad. Whatever it was very bad, and anytime I was in the backyard, I could feel it behind me all the time, and it creeped me out so bad. I didn't even want to go back there. There was one closet at the end of my hallway I didn't want to even go near because I knew something was there, and I just could feel it, And I had bad dreams there, but I also had good times at that house too. It's like when my aviation career started really early. when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I decided that a sheet would be a good parachute. So I went up there, and I'm wearing my shorts and stuff like that, and I tie the sheet around my shorts, and I stand on the eave of the top of the highest part of the roof of my house. And nobody, this is how we grew up, nobody in the neighborhood, not one parent, was like, there's a kid on that roof and he's going to jump. Nobody said a word. They were just like, you'll be all right. There's grass down there. And I jumped. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, a sheet will not slow you down. That was my first, that was my, was my first experience in aviation. And I learned, Newton had it right when it came to gravity and acceleration. So all I remember is leaving like knee prints in the grass. That's how hard I hit. I was surprised I didn't break a bone. I didn't get hurt at all. I was a pretty resilient kid, you know. And when you're that age, you don't notice that kind of thing. But we're like riding our bikes down the street, and we're trying to javelin brooms into the front spokes. And then what ends up happening is of course I'm the lucky one, right? I'm like jamming down the street on my grandma's Schwinn. My brother takes a broom from the sidewalk, throws it, it goes right into the front tire, and I just go boom, and just right over the top. It just goes, locks up that front tire, goes straight over the top, just road burn for like 30, 40 feet. It was insane. And then we do it again. Can I what? Can I check? Yeah, hold on a second. What do you want me to read now? Oh, I can't play this right now. I'll have to check it out later. I can't because of the copyrights will get me. Well, I see it in the Discord, but I can't play it because I can't hear the audio on this while I'm doing this. So I'd have to see it afterwards. I know, but it's still gonna flag me. That's the problem. And I don't want it to kill the live. But I will check it out afterwards, and if I do a video or something like on it afterwards, after I check it out, I'll do a reaction video or something. Then you'll see it pop up on your end under your copyrights, and then you'll either flag it or not flag it, and that's when I'm safe. So that's why I have to do it that way. The new OS law? No, what is it? I feel like I'm walking into a prank here. Can you sue for 500? Oh no, you can't. I mean, you're not getting blood from a turnip, so you can try. Somebody tried to steal my identity a while back, and I laughed my ass off because I was like, I want to see some fool walk into a bank and try and get a loan with my credit. I never used it, so I never had any. So when they stole my identity, I was like, no, come on, just give me the video of the person who went in and tried to buy a house with my credit, because I need something to laugh at right now. And somebody tried to hack my VA benefits card, and they got caught, and they did it in a different state, which sucks for them because that's called interstate wire fraud with state money. That boy's doing some federal time. Really? Well, the wind just picked up big time. Hope we get a surprise tornado. Why did they do an age verification for OS? That's just weird. And what OS are you referring to? I'm definitely, after we're done here, I'm definitely going to go noob some Battlefield 6 again. Online. No, we only got Evan, but he changed his name to Montgomery. I'm not sure why. How you doing, CG? But Evan's not like a real troll, you know? He keeps coming back saying the same thing over and over again. So I imagine he's got it in crayon on like the back of an old envelope or something. But we love him, you know. You want to play on Battlefield? Yeah, when I stream it later, I'll be on there. This my oh gosh, what is my gamer tag on there? It's not the same one as it's not the same as it was on Call of Duty. I'll find out what you know. I'll do. I'll find out what my gamer tag because I know it's gonna have a string of numbers behind it. And I don't know what it is, but I'm Urban Battlefront is my name on there. So unless it's War Machine, I can't remember. I think it's Urban Battlefront on Battlefield 6. But I'll find out what the numbers are, and I'll shoot it to you through the Discord. And then when I go on, you can join up with me. You want me to go on Google Earth for what? We only like Democrats, though? I don't even really like them. I think barely tolerates probably the correct term. But you know, there are some Dems out there that are like, you know, they like don't like their own party, so they're cool. I'm talking about the screaming, purple-haired, septum ring, crazy, cat makeup Democrat. I mean, that's the kind I'm talking about that irritate me. You know. California signed it into law. Oh my gosh. Okay. Actually, can I on this? Yeah, I can. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. I gotta switch back over so I can find out what you're asking me here. All right, where do you want me to go on Google Earth? Glory, I might. Yeah, after this, I'm going to do Battlefield 6 in a little bit. And then I do want to do Ready or Not with you, though. But I want to stream it. I want to get it set up. Because I don't know if anyone remembers my last streams, how I animated the some of the save screens on on Ready or Not. Like when I had to use the restroom and stuff like that. It was funny the way I had it set up. Okay. Oh, good lord. Okay. Hold on. I'm afraid to do this, man. It's asking me Sailorville, White Plains, and Jackson. There's like 3 places. Which one am I looking at? No, Evan. Whether or not it's a shooting game. But you already knew that. So. Nice attempt, though. Yeah, Evan should play too. Then we can really put him in the corner. All right, where am I looking at? Oh, UK white. Oh, well, that's probably why. All right, hold on. There's two that came up. Hold on, wait. Let me go back and see which one you said. Okay, hold on. I'm seeing a. I'm not seeing that one that you're saying. Hold on. I think I found it. Wait. I thought you said it was UK. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, welcome to the Discord, man. I haven't done a lot with it. I'm still working on it. But there's some good stuff on there. Hold on a second. I gotta find it first because not the one you're talking about hasn't come up. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Hold on. I'm not. Hold on, I can't show the camera. Just a second. Yeah, I'm looking at the camera. I haven't found it yet. Just a second. It's not coming up. I can't find this. Oh, good Lord. Come on. Hold on a second. Oh, here we go. Don't know why I am looking at this place. Okay, why am I looking at this place? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me go to Street View. Is there a Street View here? Okay. Yeah. Dismiss. All right. So let me go back to the stream so I can see the chat. Why am I looking at this house? Why do you want to see it? I can't show somebody's address on here. I can't show the front of their house. I mean, if you want me to, I can. Is this Colin Furr's house or something like that? Looks like Colin Furr's house, except I don't see the DeLorean. Hold on. I'm going to show you here. I'll show you what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at right there. Am I in the right spot? Oh, I can't see the chat. I swear it's Colin Furr's. Turn left. All right, hold on. What am I looking at? Really? Now the whole world knows. That's cool. Oh my goodness. What did I miss? What are you guys arguing about? I did say it looked like Colin Furr's, right? I did say that. I was like looking around for the construction. But I assume he's almost done by now. I love watching him do the tunnels and stuff like that. The guy is so cool to watch. So what is Evan doing? Oh, I'm done with that. That's crazy. I was looking for Colin first. I was like, I know it's gotta be him. Sorry, I almost went Stewie Griffin on you. Hello, see my coffee's run out again. You think you can get me a refill? The one next to that house is Colin. Are you? That's what. Are you serious? That's what I thought it was. Is War Machine your video? No, I don't think it is. I watched. That's why I looked at that street and I'm like, this looks familiar. This looks really familiar, and I thought it was totally awesome. Because I watch his stuff all the time. I love watching his stuff. You can. He's currently. What are you doing, dude? Are you like at his window with your phone? Yeah, go for it. Send me a picture. I'll show it on Discord. I don't know if I could. I don't think he wants to divulge that. He may or may not have already divulged his actual address. But what I don't want to do is do that if he hasn't made it public. He probably has, but I don't want to if he hasn't. I don't command my wife to do anything. I ask her in whatever accent I feel is necessary. Look at him with the laughy face. That's usually what nervous people with nothing to say do. They revert to emojis. I've got to convey my emotion because I can't do it through typing. That's what people who don't particularly understand their own emotions do, which I fully expect from, Evan, which is fine. You can't fix stupid, so just let Evan be Evan. Do you live next to this guy? Do you live next to Colin Firth? Dude. Yeah, you better not be freaking pranking me again, because you got me last time. Check my memes in Discord. Go on. Let me find them. I have to navigate my own server. Oh, I don't think I can play the sound, so let me. I'll watch it, but I don't want to play the sound. That's a minute 40. Am I gonna get that time back? I don't want to use the audio because I want to get flagged, so I'm trying to make it like really. Okay, I'll check that out later for sure. I assume dead ass is correct. He's super mad. Evan's always mad at something. His car bed's too short. Ain't that right, Evan? You can put the meme on a soundboard sometime. Is that the? It's almost like that one, like the Jet 2 Holiday one. I keep saying, or I keep hearing that from like I'm scrolling through stuff and you see, like, people fighting or something like that, or something catastrophically weird, and it ends up with the Jet 2 Holiday commercial sound. I guess I don't even know what Jet 2 Holiday is. Hold on 1 second.
Fraulein, did you not hear me ask for the coffee?
I was helping your daughters, I'm sorry. You want some coffee?
Yes, my dear.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
You have avoided the gas chamber this time.
I'm so glad you put a spotlight on yourself and demand your girlfriend.
I know. You're my girlfriend now, not my wife.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Oh.
That means I'm cheating on you with you. How dare I?
Rendezvous
It's
with her.
fun. We'll have to do it on camera sometime. I'm just kidding.
I'm playing. I love that woman. Are we baddies? I can hear him saying it when I saw you type that out. I can hear him saying it. Are we the baddies? I did that on one of my reels. Or one of my videos I was working on when we were working on the plasma table, which I haven't finished editing yet. I was like, we were putting the metal on. Someone was like, "What are you making?" Like, "We're preparing the gas chamber." Actually, you know what? I'm glad you asked that question. 4-1 is something that they're going for. And he's referring to the DARPA Lift Challenge. 4-1 is a very, very, well, almost impossible feat when you're dealing with a 55-pound craft and a 110-pound payload. So 4-1 is possible, but one of the main things you have to consider is VTOL power is very, very hungry for energy. So you need to limit your VTOL capabilities as far as your energy usage in VTOL mode. So that's the key. So I don't want to give away too much of what I've created, but I figured out a way around burning VTOL energy on large disk loads, and you're not going to get 4-1. I mean, even if you get 2 with the payload 2-1, I think it's considered. Let's see. Right now, it's craft 55 pounds. If you're hauling 110, that's almost 3-1 because you're doing the craft weight plus the 110 pounds. So that's 3-1 at a minimum. That's not bad. Montgomery, you're just mad because you ain't got a woman bringing you coffee. Yeah, it's about time you did that one, huh? On Glory. What baby part? You did? Oh, man. Oh, you said man baby. Yes, okay. I wasn't paying attention to that part. I was just paying attention to the fact that you spelled her name wrong. You're a noob. It's cool. I'd like to think of myself more as a conspiracy Santa than a baby, but I wouldn't expect you to see that. I'm in the process of Part 107, and we do have a 44807 that will be our exemption for the payload during the competition. That's going to come early spring, from what I understand from the FAA. The DARPA program manager spoke to them at length on video, and basically shared the video with everyone on the DARPA channel. And that was to let everybody know kind of how the exemption for the 44807 is going to be. So, yeah. I'm scheduled to climb at Part 107. But all I need, from what I understand in the rules, is a remote a Part 107 that's there. The pilot doesn't necessarily need to be a Part 107, as long as there's a Part 107 holder there. Remote pilot in command. I've been talking about someone not having flow. You believe that shit?
Yes, I can.
J'entends, mon chéri petit déjeuner.
Welcome, baby.
Yeah, I know. I've been studying it. I've been going through stuff. I already registered the aircraft because I already have the design and I'm in the middle of constructing it. I got the remote ID, so I have the serial number for that. I'll be tied to the craft. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I really hope that I I want to share a lot of it on video. There's people that have been putting out videos of their ideas I've seen online, only a few people. And I don't know why you would do that unless you were intentionally trying to mislead somebody. Because when I looked at their design, they didn't have the wing area to support the load. And they were using 4 rotors. And it was more or less like a plane that somebody glued 4 rotors onto. And I don't know who designed that. I don't. It's an interesting design, but you're dealing with a lot of systems that are going to be fighting each other. So you're going to have that gyro maybe tilting forward and maybe moving forward fast enough to produce enough lift to hold that load and unload the main rotor. But you're going to be dealing with gyro inaccuracies in that. What's going to end up happening is it's going to be fighting the wing. So I designed an entirely separate system. We won't get into it. But you think it's what's misleading? It's not difficult to get. Give yourself 5 minutes. Oh, the test is misleading? Like they try to tell you, when is it okay to fly over people with a payload? It's supposed to be never. And some people say, and they give you options that sound like they're cool. Yeah. I don't think they expect anyone to get a 4-to-1 out of a 55-pound craft. I really don't think that they expect it. I think they expect people to get close to it, and that's the innovation they're looking for. They want to see people with innovative problem-solving skills. And never mind that the AGM 114 in longbow version weighs 110 pounds, which happens to be the minimum payload that they want. But hey, I'm just an engineer. What am I going to do? I think that they fully expect that it could be possible somebody, you're not getting 4-to-1 on a 55-pound craft unless you've discovered anti-gravity. Okay, is it possible? Could be, but you're crunching serious numbers, and that's only in VTOL mode. We're talking about distance travel. You've got 4 nautical miles to travel with that payload. Then you have to drop it. Then you have to come back, and you're doing this at an altitude of 250 feet. You're not doing it solely with a rotor. And some of the designs that I saw were, like I said, there were 4 rotors. It looked like a drone that was glued on top of a plane. I don't think that's going to work either. So I came up with another solution. And when this is all said and done, if it's not classified, if they don't want to classify it, and it's not DARPA's IP afterwards, or they don't buy it from me, or they don't contract me to build it, or something like that, some other logistics company will, I'm sure. But I'll have a product, and then I'll be able to kind of advertise it online. But before the competition, I want to be careful how to not share the design, because thanks a lot for the music, appreciate it. Everyone can hear it. But what I don't want to do is potentially put something out there on the internet to share my build progress that might become something that is sensitive material that the military doesn't want somebody else to have if they adopt it. So I'm being very cautious of that. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't share it. I could show you a propeller, I could show you a battery. That's not going to give you any information you need to know about my design. Chocolate rain kit. Oh my gosh, Lori. Oh my gosh, I remember that. It's like one of those, it's like Baby Shark Like the thing you just don't want to ever hear again. Or Dora the Explorer. Like, you know why you don't hear her anymore? She got deported. Yeah, Dora the Explorer got inducted into the Sinaloa cartel. So things went south pretty bad for her. And poor Diego. That is a damn good question, Glory. I wondered that myself. He has to at least be required to have a helmet. At least. Maybe some clothespins for his lips. Walking around looking like a duck with helmet. You're from Canada, right, Evan? I mean, isn't that... I know, I was at the lake and your Air Force landed on it. Bunch of ducks. You guys have an Air Force and an Army. Oh, that's right. You don't. The U.S. takes care of you. And then they whip your ass in hockey. But you go ahead and enjoy that curling. We need somebody to slide a large rock across the lake in the middle of a war. We'll give you a call. Hold on 1 second. Gotta fix my washing machine. Oh, I got a package. Yeah, that's right. Hold on, we'll see what it is. Let's see what it is together, shall we? Unboxing review of something I have no idea what it is. Hold on, I gotta get my knife. Oh wait, no, I have a razor over here to do it with. Yay! All right, where's it from? Probably a drone part.
Do you need something?
No, I was gonna grab my knife, but then I realized I had my razor here to cut the box open. I don't know what drone part this is. This could be any one of the parts I ordered. Obviously from overseas. Like an IED. As I pop the package open. Scare everyone. Dang, you think you wrapped it well enough? Good Lord. Alright. Let's find out what it is. You guys like unboxings online? One of them. I wonder where the other one is. They put it in the box? Outside? Why'd they leave this one out there? You're supposed to send two. That's okay, my carbon fiber is not here yet. Oh, yes. That's a party motor now. I like this. Very nice. Carbon fiber top. Beautifully done. 40 mil. That's exactly what I needed. All right. We'll put this in the pile of parts. And then I gotta check my order because they only sent me one. So let's find out, shall we? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find out whether there was, because they didn't specify whether it was a pair or not. I need one more. It says 1 time set motor mount. It said it's a set. So they probably shipped in 2 different boxes, which doesn't make sense. I'm gonna have to contact them. I have time though, because I'm still waiting for my carbon fiber rods and everything else, which is fine. Evan, are you being annoying? I mean, goes without saying, but what are you up to now? What are you talking about, Evan? Yeah, I think Evan is the type. I think the type of person that would probably report you just because he was upset about what you said. But he always comes back here. I don't know if it's to start trouble or just because he likes me or something like that. A little uncomfortable. Set the motor on the mount trap. No, it said one. It said 1 set. But, well, I can find out really easily right now. It shows the weight. We'll check it right now. I have a feeling I'm going to have to order a second one. Let's see. Scoot this over a little bit. We'll wait and see. If it's what it says it is, then it is only one in there. Wow, that's right on the money. Yeah, so it is 1, but they said 1 set. So I'll just order another one. That's okay. No problem. Sorry to my investor. I'm gonna have to order another one. But Yeah, it's going to be a fun project. But we are going to, eventually, this one's going to, I'm going to launch this one with a 29 millimeter. Put a nice shoot in it. This is just my wall model. The other one I'll print out of, actually, I want to do it out of the carbon fiber. It's got a really slick look to it. So basically this one I'll model in the 29 millimeter motor input and use the carbon fiber because one, it'll insulate much better than the motor mount would probably melt. I'll probably use a cardboard insert around that 29 millimeter so that we don't have to worry about melting the actual body of it. And then about right here, or at the tip here, just the tip, I promise. We'll make it to where the chute comes out here, and that'd be a cool model to fly, I think. What do you think? I think it'd be cool. So, what do you guys want to see next as far as the Estes model rocket missile category goes? Do you want to see the one that goes on an A10? I forget what that one was. I know it's an AGM-1. I forget this designation. Might do a Sidewinder missile. You know what I miss are the Aerotech model rockets, like the Initiator. That's why I was talking about the 29 millimeter reloadable, because I want to get back into that again, because I used to be into it as a kid and I loved it, and I want to do it again, along with my propulsion stuff. And put it on the channel. It's not because I'm not just about drones. I'm about experimental propulsion, about building weird stuff, experimenting with different engineering techniques and styles to do something fun, and also have some fun at the same time. Like these chats, for example, these lives where we talk and Evan and Glory are fighting and stuff like that. It's just fun. It's just wholesome fun. It's all wholesome fun when you guys start going at each other. Enjoy the videos I sent in. I'll definitely enjoy those videos. Yeah, I appreciate it. I think after this, in a little bit, I'm going to go in, have something to eat in a little while here, and then I'm going to probably do some Battlefield 6. So, I'll get a hold of Scary Stories that was just here, which was also Critical Shot. You guys change your names too much. Maverick, don't be so hard on yourself. I don't go to the gym, I just don't eat anything. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, David. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. We'll always have another live. Yeah, I hope you guys had fun today. It was a lot of fun. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, we can talk about it. I got time, but depending on how the audience is when I end up wrapping it up. It just depends on what you guys want to talk about. Your country is making gas way too expensive. Okay, well, sorry. Yeah, Lori, he's I think Evan's a Canadian. That's why he was so butthurt when we whipped his ass in hockey during the Olympics. I think he's referring to the. I watched oil go up to like $117 a barrel, like live, a couple of days ago, and I was like, "Uh oh, I hope my friend didn't have to buy diesel." And I guess he had got like a whole bunch of diesel right before it went up because he needed it for the truck. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered. Come on. You guys lost. Become part of the United States. We'll back you. I mean, we're already watching your shores and defending your area. What part of Canada are you from? Like, do you get to see the northern lights and stuff like that, or are you too far south of that? The cold part, the whole thing. Glory. Oh man. That's too funny. That's too funny. I always thought that I wanted to visit Canada at one point, and I thought to myself, why put myself through it? You know? So I just said the heck with it. I imagine you'd have more fun at a colonoscopy. Although I do like the cold. Would love to see the northern lights and the clear skies, but the rules are so weird there, man. And is Trudeau out yet? Because you need somebody that actually has balls to actually run the country, you know? I know he's dating Katy Perry, so he has no taste. Whatsoever. So, yeah, Trudeau and Newsom, I think, were butt buddies. Ain't no man sitting crossing his legs like that that's got up here, you know what I mean? I think it's funny how he would like Trudeau would say crap about us. Like, dude, look at your country. You don't even align. It's like you're like, we're gonna stop gun violence, and then the knife violence like skyrockets. You can't even buy a pistol there. Why would I even go there? I wouldn't go there to live. I would maybe visit, check it out, whatever. But until it becomes part of the United States, because we're taking you next, Canada. We are. We need more parking. So we're gonna take Canada next. In Greenland, South America, pretty much everything. Like I said, I put out a post that said United Planet of America. That's where we're headed. Except the desert. Except the Middle East. We're gonna all over China will come out of there because we're gonna glass plate that whole thing. Canada wouldn't be the 51st state. It'd be like 50 and a half, probably. Like it'd be that. We'd be 50.5 states. It's not real. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that over there we could probably use, but if we wanted it, we'd just take it anyway. So I'm not really worried whether they decide they want to become part of it. There's people in Canada who want to be part of the United States. They want places they live to be part of the United States, which would be cool. You know, that'd be awesome. Totally unifying. We just can't leave you in charge of hockey if we do. We would have to take over that and make sure that it's done correctly. $40 feet is your water table, Glory? You dig 40 feet in Canada, you find ice. Just more frozen ground. But I like the cold. Honestly, I like the cold better than I do the heat. And it's being born in the Central Valley of California is not something I'm proud of. Not in the least. This whole state would be red if the fault line would just do what it's frickin' supposed to do. You know? Crack off, sink into the ocean. All of a sudden, California is a red state. That's what would happen. I mean, to be honest with you, I honestly think because we already know. When you're talking about San Francisco, when you're talking about LA, when you know about all of that and all Hollywood and all that leftist nonsense garbage and all the things that these evil people do over there, they all kind of congregate. That's the great part about it. Lemmings like to stick together right before they go off the cliff, right? So the fault line runs perfectly up the side of California that we don't need. So just, one major tectonic shift away from being a red state. Oh, it'd be beautiful. Everybody on the West Coast, get your floaties on. Any good people though, get out of there. Because I'm gonna go over to the fault line with a crowbar and get to work. I think that'd be hilarious. See me down there. What are you doing? Trying to get rid of this mess. You have the whole island, Lori? You got room for me to build a shop over there? My wife wants me to build her a house that's like from like Lord of the Rings. She wants a hobbit house. I'm like, woman, I am 6'4". We're gonna have to make it like real size though. I need enough room. I want snow. I like bad weather. I don't know, I've always liked it. I don't like the heat. I need enough room for a landing pad, a runway, a shop, a hobbit house, and some room for animals. If you can make that happen, we'll be on our way. You have a shop bigger than I want to build? Well, the size of shop that I need isn't just for some of my projects. It's one of my major projects is I need something about the size of an airplane hangar. So yeah, that. In the end, that's what I'm going to end up needing, and it's a big project I'll be undertaking, but I've been designing it for a while. It's a purely hydrogen vehicle, hydrogen electric. It burns it and uses it for electricity, and it uses hydrogen hybrid turbines. Just think Star Citizen. You know, I mean, that's, if anybody's ever played Star Citizen, I'm like literally gonna build something similar to the Cutty Black. You know, that Cutlass Black is awesome. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna need the room. I've been designing that one for a while. Notifications. Oh, well, that would be big enough. It just had to be tall enough. Well, that, and I would need the roof to open because this is a VTOL aircraft. We could roll it out the front, but it would be much cooler to take off from inside the shop. Imagine videoing that one from the outside. And Glory's out there, camera doing the video, taking through the roof and everything. Why couldn't you swim in a pond? This isn't like, I mean, this isn't Canada. They're not all frozen. I keep wondering why you're arguing with Glory, Evan. I don't get it. He's not messing with me anymore. He's going after Glory. He may be in troll, but he keeps coming back. I mean, I've got to have some kind of charisma, something that he likes. I don't know. I'm got my eye on you, Evan. I'm definitely not gonna turn my back on you. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do, Glory. I'll be here for a minute or so longer. I'll be here for a few minutes because I really want to. I want to thank everyone who did stop by. I want to thank everyone who's checked out the channel. And if any of the content you find interesting, just give it a like, share it with your friends. And I don't have channel members because I really don't I don't force that on people. I don't mind if you do super chats, stuff like that. But I try not to force memberships on people because I really don't like to hide any of my material except for the stuff that I'm working for obviously DARPA. But I don't like to have videos where it's members only unless I don't know if I should do that. It feels like a dick move, like I'm making this video and only people that pay for it can see it, which I'm not Amazon Prime. It's like I'm not gonna do that to somebody. But people are like saying, if you want to make money on YouTube, you gotta have memberships. I'm like, so I set up the membership thing, but I tell everyone, it's like, you don't have to. I haven't made any membership videos yet. Now, I can't imagine anything that I would film that I wouldn't want to openly share with everyone so they can enjoy it, without a membership. I think the membership should be more of, we appreciate what you're doing, we want to support it, that kind of thing. Not a, have a membership because you have to, so you can watch this video. I think that's wrong. And because not everybody can afford to just have an extra, bill, even if it's only a couple of dollars. I get that because I'm in the same boat, but yeah, I don't want to do memberships, if you want to be a member because you want to be a member, I did do the badges, I made some cool badges. They'd have next to your name in the chat, but I haven't done anything specific yet, like for members only, because like I said, it feels like I'm not sharing with the public what I want to do, and I do want to share with the public what I do, which is experimental propulsion, having fun, chatting with all you cool people, and just having a good time, What are you talking about, Montgomery? I'm a stress relief? If I'm helping you out, even if you're trying to be insulting with some of your comments, if it's helping you out, cool. I'm here to help people, either with projects, if they need to vent, if they just need to let off some steam. Nothing you say bothers me. I expect it. I think it's entertaining. You entertain me more, to be honest, than some of the other trolls. I'll tell you that. But it's for. I think it's great. If it's helping you, it's helping you. And that's what I'm here for. And but as far as the memberships go, like I said, that's an entirely voluntary thing. I'll never restrict my content from people. And if people really like what I'm doing and they want to support it and become members, that's on them. But I'll never force anyone to do it. I'll never put out a video that someone might want to see, but they're like, I'm not going to drop a couple bucks to become a member because, I don't want it reoccurring, hit my card, me not know about it, and things like, because I'm in the same situation, like I said. Sometimes I'll get to the point where I've paid all my bills and I don't want something to hit my VA card or whatever, and like try to overdraft it or anything like that. And I know what it's like, okay? That's the way it is with a lot of people. And I don't feel like obligating people, to be members to watch my videos. It's purely a voluntary support mechanism. If you want to support the channel in that way, then I encourage you. I'm not going to say no, but it won't be a requirement. I don't think he can. I don't think another can see you. CG, can you see Montgomery? If you can't, check your blog. Check for. Man, baby. You always got a funny name for me. I love it. PsyOps. Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that information. So you can see. Okay, so he's not blocked. You can see him. So he can see you. Is there something specific you wanted to know about PsyOps? The heck is that noise? Everybody hear that? So I know how humans' brains have worked in the same way for centuries and how they utilize. Yeah, of course. What are you getting at? I'm just curious because where you're going with this one. I'm like insanely curious now. And psyops are just, I mean, they're different from the misinformation that you're given as far as like aliens existing and things like that. The government knows a lot more than you think they do. And when they say there's aliens, it's because they know there isn't. And there's a reason for that. Mind control, I mean, this isn't Stranger Things, but um, they basically, um, how do I explain this? Um, if you're talking about conditionally programming someone, not like hypnotizing, but conditionally programming them to do specific things on command. Hypnosis have been able to do that, but you have to have somebody with a mind that's susceptible to that. I've never ever been that type to be that way. Um, like I can't be hypnotized. People have tried it. But you can manipulate someone's behavior a million different ways. It doesn't require any specific mind control. It just requires a certain set of circumstances that you know are personal triggers for the individual. And you implement them in a specific pattern. And then you monitor the response before you implement the next one to find them at the emotional spot that you need them to be from the neurological input. And then you get your puppet. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, it's all psyops done that way. It's not just mind control. It's understanding the response from an emotional state of an individual and then using that emotional state to trigger mental cues, and then you know what to do next. You don't even have to know the person. All you have to do is implement one thing that they might find familiar or somehow affect them emotionally, and then what ends up happening is you trace back exactly that emotional pattern to the neurological trigger, and then you implement the next stage, which basically plans itself based on the response of the individual. So yeah, I've kind of been in that stuff a little bit. All right, there's another thing I'd like to show you guys, but I need 1 minute. Be right back. Come on, Colt. You want to go outside? Come on, Husky. Let's go. Out you go. What's going on with this washer? Alright. Got a little bit of light coming in from the door. Alrighty. Whew. Voice to skull. Yeah? You can do that with lasers. We can do all kinds of stuff. But so we know what my plans are for the evening. So here in a little bit I'm going to have some food because I've been on pretty much most of the afternoon. I haven't eaten anything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Battlefield 6 and do some battle royales and things like that. I am horrible at this game. It's going to be hilarious though. It's going to be funny. So I will be turning voice off because I don't want anyone saying anything untoward over the voice chat because they tend to do that. And if I think you're streaming, they definitely will. They'll do everything to get you a strike. Because some people are just horrible people, obviously. So, or they're jealous that you're streaming or something like that, you know, or mommy didn't hold them enough or too much. You know, late night sneaky uncle. You never know. So, the idea is. What's that?
I'll hook you over while dinner's cooking.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be in a minute anyway.
Okay.
So, thank you, dear. On PS5, long tall 75. Is that are there any like on the PS5? Are there any like numbers after that? Like sometimes they'll have a hashtag and then a bunch of numbers. I'll try though. Either way, you're on Discord, so if I can't find you, I'll get on there and talk to you about it. He's usually the uncle. Yeah, people are horrible, so you can't leave the voice chat on, unfortunately. So it'll be just the game sounds. Because I don't want anybody saying anything stupid. I had that happen once before. The moment they knew I was streaming, they just started saying like a bunch of racial slurs, the whole 9 yards, just to try and get my channel taken down. And that was an older channel, I think. Anyway, so it didn't matter. But I don't want people doing that because I don't want people to get offended. You know me, I like to offend people like as a whole, not just any individual. So, yeah. So with that, you guys know what the projects are. We're going to be doing the rockets. If I don't have the video up today because it's running kind of late, I'll have it up tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and do some streaming. I'm going to be working on projects. Eventually, hopefully I'll be able to show you some cool stuff. As of now, though, it is classified. So, yeah. But we still have that drone we got to do. I'll get the motors for that one pretty soon. So, don't worry. I'll be able to get them soon. And then we'll get that drone flying. I want to do that one here in the shop to show you how stable that thing is. It's really fun to fly too. Even though people think it's completely and totally impractical because I'm using 470mm EDF jets. That's not the point of it. It's a concept. It's fun. With the right power supply, with the right motors, with the right engines, you can have something new, something fun, something much, much faster than anything else. So it's all about how you design it. So it's been fun. You guys have been a great crowd. I always appreciate all of you coming in and hanging out with me. Hopefully, you know, I got some subscribers that are interested in the channel and they subscribed and are going to share it with their friends and check out the content. I hope they enjoy the content. I hope all the new people enjoy what they see, because I'm going to keep going for you guys. And like I said before, memberships are optional. Everything is going to be on the table for you guys. And then if you do want to support the channel in that way, you can. And I appreciate everything that you do. You guys just watching supports me, and I appreciate that. So I want to thank you all for being here today. I want you all to have a wonderful evening. Be safe wherever you are. Keep your head on a swivel. We've been hearing about those sleeper cells. This is the kind of stuff that people like we've been waiting for, though. So I've never been more excited. Finally get to break out the big stuff. So you all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all in the next video and in the next live or the next short, whichever comes first. So I've been DPC. Thank you all, love you all, and I will see you next time.